What is up, everybody? We're back here at King Film Sports for another NBA Wednesday video for betting locks. And last week we went 2-3-1, had some crazy finishes in those 6 games. Ended up down 1 unit, unfortunately, but still maintaining a positive record, 9-6-2 on the year, which is 60%. That is right around the line that we want to be hitting at for this NBA season. So let's get to it. This is our 4th video on the NBA. Be sure to slap a like and comment your predictions in these games in the comment section below. First game, as you know, we always do the nationally televised games, and because it's Wednesday, ESPN, 7:30 Eastern, we have the Golden State Warriors versus the Indiana Pacers, and I'm going to be taking the Warriors +2 and the hook. The Pacers really haven't played in a week. Their last game was against the Timberwolves, which we featured in our last video. It was an overtime win where they had a push at -6. And they haven't been very hot coming into that point, 4-6 in their last 10. Just playing mediocre basketball, really, against pathetic Eastern Conference teams. And then the Warriors, they actually lost their last 2 games in the first 2 games of their road trip. Won last night. Again, this is a second leg of a back-to-back. They won last night, grinded out a victory in the fourth quarter against the Knicks, but they really don't want to finish under 500 in this road trip. I feel like even though it's on the second leg of a back-to-back, they're going to get this one done. Curry had a great game yesterday, and I think he's poised to do it again. And if you haven't been following Kelly Oubre in the month of February, of course he had his struggles with shooting in December and January, but in February he's really stepped up. Then you have Wiggins, Draymond Green. Wiseman's getting a few minutes in this game, obviously coming back from the wrist injury. And then you got Kevon Looney, who's actually playing pretty well defensively against the Knicks last night. So I think the Warriors will hunker down, play great defense. Domantas Sabonis might have a great game for the Pacers because he was an all-star snub. You also have Malcolm Brogdon, who's been putting together a pretty good season at point guard for the Pacers. But ultimately, I think the Warriors are going to get it done and win outright. Maybe if you want more value here, you go with the Warriors at +110 on the money line. But I'm just going to take the spread +2.5. Maybe if it's a close game and the Warriors barely lose, I still cover. Next game, we have the Timberwolves versus the Chicago Bulls. And if it's one thing that you've seen in these videos for the NBA, it's fade the Timberwolves because they are the absolute worst team in the NBA at 7-25. And I'm going to be taking the Bulls at -4 here. They're coming off of a pretty impressive streak. They've won 4 of their last 5. Including their last 2 games against the Kings and the Rockets. Those aren't great Western Conference teams, but you know a team that's worse? It's the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves have lost their last 5 straight and are 1-9 in their last 10. There is something in me saying that Anthony Edwards has a breakout game in this one, and Karl Anthony Towns plays great, and the Timberwolves can finally put together all of their talent and maybe shock the Bulls because they probably are the more talented team here, but the Bulls have been playing pretty good basketball as of late. Average team, they're 2 games below 500, but I love the way Zach LaVine's been playing for this team. He's an all-star, averaging 29 points per game almost. Then you obviously have Kobe White, too, making shots. So I like where the Chicago Bulls team is headed, but it's more so that the Minnesota Timberwolves are the worst team in the NBA, and they will continue to be, and they will lose this game by at least 4 points. Next game at 9 o'clock Eastern, we have the Hornets versus the Phoenix Suns. And give me the Suns laying 9 points. And I think the Suns are probably the hottest team in the league. I mean, them and the Jazz really are, in the Western Conference, 2 great teams right now. Phoenix has won 3 straight and are 9-1 in their last 10. Remember, that only loss was that collapse in the fourth quarter against the Nets. And the Nets are another great team. And so the Suns playing great basketball, especially at home this season. Talking Stick Arena. Devin Booker, all-star snub. He's one of the most underappreciated players in this league. Then you have Chris Paul, who actually did make the all-star game. He's been having a great season. Facilitator for this Phoenix Suns offense. I think Booker's going to have at least 30 points to prove everyone wrong yet again. Then you also obviously have DeAndre Ayton, who's taken a big leap up defensively this season. He's averaging 12 boards a game. And really, it's just the Hornets. I mean, they are just an average Eastern Conference team which really is not good in the landscape of the NBA when you're talking about one of the hottest teams in the league in the Phoenix Suns. I mean, look at the Jazz, who are comparable to the Phoenix Suns on the type of run that they're going on right now. Hornets went to Utah on Monday and lost by 22. So I really just don't think they can match up with the Suns. And I think they're getting a little bit too much hype here because of that win against the Warriors, which may I remind you that the Warriors did not have Steph Curry, and Terry Rozier for the Hornets had the game of his life. Hornets do have a lot of talent. P.J. Washington, Gordon Hayward, LaMelo Ball, Devontae Graham obviously out for this one, and at the aforementioned Terry Rozier. But I don't think they're going to be able to get this one done. I think the Suns are going to win in blowout fashion and cover the 9-point spread. Next and final game, we have the marquee game of the night. 10 o'clock Eastern, we have the Lakers shorthanded. Obviously not having Dennis Schroeder or Anthony Davis in this one. LeBron James even listed at day-to-day, so is Kyle Kuzma and Markieff Morris. And the Utah Jazz are pretty much at full strength here. Donovan Mitchell's been having a great campaign, averaging 25 points per game. Rudy Gobert, obviously a stalwart on the defensive end. And then you have Mike Conley. And as I mentioned in last video, Royce O'Neal, he's one of these breakout players for the Utah Jazz, especially on the defensive end. He can make the difference in a fourth quarter close game for this Utah Jazz team. And I think they're probably going to win this game. But I'm not actually going with a spread play in this one because I just don't know what LeBron's going to do. I don't really want to fade him at this point, especially with the Lakers coming off 3 straight losses. I think they might actually bounce back here in a primetime game against the best team in the NBA record-wise in the Utah Jazz. The spread is currently at 8.5. I mean, if I had to lean one way, I'd take the Jazz, but my official play here is going to be the over 220. And if you haven't been following NBA totals this season, 220 is actually a bit low, and I just don't think that reflects the offensive capabilities of these two teams. Jazz currently averaging 116 a game, Lakers respectable at 112 as well, and I just think, I mean, look at the Jazz recent games. They put up 132 against the Hornets, 116 and 114 in their 2 games against the Clippers, 134 against the Sixers, 112 against Miami. All over 110, which is the average of the two teams if you're trying to get to 220. And the Lakers put up 124 in their loss against the Wizards. Also put up 112 against Minnesota, 122 against the Nuggets in recent games. So although they don't have Anthony Davis, they have some shooters. So I think even if this one is a blowout, I think the Lakers will get above 100 points and Jazz might get above 120. Or if it's a close game, you get all those free throws late in the game, cover the spread or the total in the last minute there. So I feel pretty good about that over 220. So let me know what your best plays for NBA Wednesday are in the comment section below. I want to know. Be sure to slap a like on the video, and I will see you in the next one.